Hi, this is Isabel Florence, and you are listening to You Are Light podcast, a safe space where we talk about mental health and well-being. Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Today, we're going to talk about boundaries. We need to start looking at boundaries as self-care because the more boundaries we set with the people around us, the people that we love, the people we work with, our families, our friends, boyfriends and girlfriends, the less stress we feel. So it's a huge tool to better your well-being in your life. And it's a tool that I struggle with. I am a people pleaser. I am a Libra. I don't like conflict. I like to keep the peace. I'm usually the one that keeps the peace. So setting boundaries for me is a real challenge. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned so far. I have a guess that I'm going to need more than one episode for this. So let's dive in. The first thing that we need to understand about boundaries is that it is not about the other person. It's about yourself. So it's not about trying to change someone. It's not about trying to change someone's actions or behavior. It's about making clear what is your behavior according to other people's. To be able to set boundaries, we first need to understand what it is that they are. And for that, we need some self-reflection. We need to understand what it is that is important to us in our relationships, in our work, what triggers us from things that we've been through when we were a child. What are the behaviors that other people do that makes our inner child feel unsafe, feel angry? How is it that we see respect, and how do we want to be respected? So this is really important. It's understanding what are your needs. Setting boundaries shouldn't be a superficial mindset where you judge the other person. You put someone else in a box and you say, they are wrong, I'm right. It's not about that. It's about understanding what you need and making sure that the people that love you know that. It's really easy to go into judgmental mindset and think of the other person as petty or annoying or stupid or wrong. But we all have our reasons for why we behave in a certain way. So first, let's try to enter any conversation about boundaries in our relationships without judgment and reminding ourselves that it is more about what we need rather than what the other person's doing or how they need to change. If you have someone in your family that loves talking about politics and that triggers you because it takes you to a place where you become angry and conflicts arise and it doesn't get you anywhere, you are not asking the person to stop talking about politics. You are making sure that they know that if they do talk about politics around you, you will leave the room. You will choose not to take part in the conversation. In a way, we shouldn't have to set our boundaries because they already exist. It's about how can we all live authentically to who we are with others. So it's more about being honest. Deep down, boundary is about truthfulness, about what you need, about how you feel. And that's why it's so difficult. We live in a society where it has become normalized to lie. We teach our children to lie and we lie to our children. So we all grow up thinking that it's normal to lie. But for example, if someone invites you to something and you don't want to go and you make a white lie about it, you say, I actually have to work tonight so I can't come, but I would love to. Instead of, I actually need to focus on myself tonight so I won't be able to make it this time, but thank you for inviting me. When you lie about it, you are not setting the boundary because you are not making clear to the other person how you actually feel. You are not being honest. So boundaries are directly correlated to honesty. And not creating boundaries is directly correlated to people pleasing. But it's actually unfair to not be honest with others. So let's try to change our perception of what creating a boundary is. It's asking for respect for yourself while also respecting the other, because you are being truthful about what you need. And with that information, the other person can be a better friend, can be a better mother, can be a better boyfriend or girlfriend, a better colleague to you. So for example, When I used to have people over, I would consider what it is that they would like to do, what it is that they would enjoy. And I would try to create a situation according to them. I would make sure we did what they enjoyed. I would make sure my house was clean and tidy and in a way perfect for them to come over and feel comfortable and feel themselves, feel happy. What that did was I left myself out of it. I didn't consider my needs, even when it comes to food. If someone's coming to my house now, I will eat what I usually eat, and I will offer to them the things that I already have in my house. Instead of going out and buying their favorite foods, changing my environment for someone else. They are coming to my environment. I'm not going to change my environment for them. I will invite them in. I will offer them authentically what it is that I have to give. And in a way, it's the same thing. I will authentically offer to someone what I have to give. I'm not going to offer something that I don't have, that is not me, that is not my true self. So we have to understand our boundaries. And to do so, we have to understand why those boundaries are important for us. For example, I'm someone who really needs alone time more than the usual person. And this can be difficult for other people because in my mind, they will feel attacked if I express that I am choosing to spend my time by myself rather than with them. But if I am not living according to my need, I will resent this person. So it's not actually fair. I need to be honest with them about what I need. So the reason why you have the boundary is very important. I need my alone time because that's how I recharge. And if I am clear with someone and honest with them, if they really love me and accept me for who I am, they will respect my boundary. Another thing that you have to do is believe that you are worthy of this boundary. I have to believe that I am worthy of spending time alone, recharging. If I don't, it'll be very difficult for me to be firm about it. All of this doesn't mean that I put myself aside now and again to take care of other people, to look after the people that I love, because I know I do. But I do so as a choice. When I do it, I am not pretending that I want to do it. So I can choose sometimes to not have as much alone time or to even negotiate with someone how much time they need from me and how much time I need for myself. I am willing to compromise because relationships are about compromise, but I will continue to respect myself when it comes to my crucial needs. There is a line that I need to be aware of that I don't want to cross, because the last thing you want is to create resentment in a relationship, any kind of relationship. The building of resentment is very dangerous. So one thing that helps make the decision between yes or no, or between yes, let's talk about it, and no, can be to take a pause. If someone is asking you something, you don't have to answer right away. You can take your time to think about whether you want to do something or not. You are allowed that time. But because of the reality that we live in right now, where we have our phones with us all the time, where we not only see our text messages, but we see WhatsApps, we see emails, we see everything on there. People expect us to make these decisions very quickly, but you don't have to. You can take your time, and you don't have to say no. You can negotiate. You can say, I am not able to do this for you, but I am able to do that instead. With time, you are able to look at the situation, assess how you feel about it, and choose what your response will be. So take your time. Now, boundaries around family. This is a very difficult one because we have grown up with these people. They have known us in a different environment, in a different style of life. And now you're an adult. So it can be challenging for parents or uncles or grandmothers, grandfathers to accept your boundaries, to see them as valid, because there is a possibility that they see you as someone different to who you really are. There's a possibility that they want you to stay the same way that you were when you were a child, when you were told No, you're not staying in your room. You're coming out and you have to speak to people. You had to do it. Now it's your choice if you want to come out of your room or not. So it's natural that they forget. Again, let's go into it without any judgment. A few tricks. One is to talk about the topic that you want to set as a boundary without including them in it. So in this way, you are teaching them what you need as an individual, separate to them, without attacking their ego. So for example, you have someone in your family that just shows up in your house all the time and you feel uncomfortable with it. You can mention to them, oh yes, my friends know that I feel uncomfortable if they just show up in my house, so they let me know before. Another example, you know that you need time alone and they don't understand that. You can bring up this topic and talk about how your friends now understand that you need your time alone and sometimes you won't reply to a message right away. Or that you say to them, thank you for inviting me to this or that, but I actually need to spend time by myself. And how wonderful your friend is for understanding and for respecting who you are as a person. It's easier to talk about it without involving them. Because if you say to someone, I need you to stop doing this, they will feel attacked. Even if you do want to be more direct with them about it, always mention how you feel. Always show to them what it is that you need. So instead of saying, you're always calling me and expecting me to be available all the time when I'm not, you say, it triggers me when I feel like you don't respect my time and the things that I have going on in my life. So you make it about yourself because it is about you. We're going back to the fact that boundaries are more about you being true to what you need rather than judging the other or attacking the other about how they act. What is their nature? You can also remind them of how different you are now from what you were before. You can say, it's so interesting how I've realized how much I've changed, or how I've realized that I really need this when I didn't know that I needed it before, or I didn't know how to say it. Now, when it comes to friendships and relationships, it's important to understand what it is that you want from that relationship before setting the boundaries. Because there might be a possibility that you want something different to the other person. And that's why you feel like your boundaries are not being met. So what do I want from this relationship? What would it look like? And what would it take for us to get there? And then you can make it clear with the person and see if they have the same expectation. If you have a friend who you always want to meet and they always cancel last minute, maybe it's about changing what it is that you want from the relationship. Maybe it's about changing your expectation from it, because they might not want someone that they meet all the time. So you can reassess what it is that you want from the relationship. And next time you make a plan just for yourself and you just invite them. And if they show up, they show up. If they don't, you didn't rely on them showing up. As well as understanding our own needs, we need to understand other people's needs and we need to respect them. So for example, if there's a boundary for you at work to not be sent text messages after 9 p.m., then you shouldn't be doing that yourself with your colleagues or with someone working for you. Don't expect from others what you don't want expected from yourself. And after you set your boundary, after you make it clear to the person what it is that you need from them, you have to keep that. If you say no and they push you, and then you end up saying yes, what they will learn is, oh, she says no, but if I push, then she'll say yes. So if you do that once, it'll make it worse for you because it'll be very difficult for this person to respect you. And this goes back to believing that you are worthy of this boundary. You have to believe that this is your right. This is a need and therefore it's a right that you have as a human being. So I'm going to read now a few examples of how to set boundaries so you can use it if you need to. I would love to, but I am having a hard time keeping up with commitments already. I would love to help you, but I'm not able to dedicate the time necessary to make this a success. I don't think I'm the best fit for this. Thanks for thinking of me though. I'll have to pass this time. Best of luck on your search. I have already outlined my priorities for this month and am unable to commit to anything else. I do not agree to this. Please meet me halfway on this issue. I need some more time to process this. Let's revisit this later after I have had a chance to think about it. I know you mean well, but I am different. Can you respect the difference? This is what I need. I see that you are trying to help me and I appreciate your concern, but I would like to handle things on my own. I prefer not to discuss this topic with you. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I am not comfortable doing this right now. Can we figure out a better solution? I'm not available. Let me get back to you on this. I have a different approach to managing things in my home, and I would appreciate if you could respect my choices. This is not my area of expertise, but I can find out for you. I want to be sure and give you correct information. Let me call you back. I feel undermined when you bring this up in front of everyone. Next time, please just talk to me about it in private. My reasons are personal. I prefer not to say. Your views are great, but I'd rather make this decision alone. Interesting advice, but that doesn't align with my beliefs. Thank you for your concern about X. I've got it from here. I need to put my needs first. Do you believe that's an appropriate thing to say? That is not my experience. I guess we are different. I rather you do not talk about X. I love you. I would love to have you over for dinner, but not if you will be talking about X. So these are a few examples of things that you can say. I think, again, it's all about trying to be as authentic as you can with the people that you love. I know it's difficult. I find it very difficult because I hate confrontation and it makes me feel like I'm going to upset people when I speak my mind. What I need to understand is the problem is not me speaking my mind. The problem is when someone sees me having a different opinion as an insult or as an attack, because it is not. Let's own what we need. Let's try and show others how we want to be respected, how we want to be treated, how we deserve to be treated. I love you very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you set some boundaries. And I hope that every boundary that you set makes your relationships more profound and more honest. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. All the links are written down on the show notes, as well as resources for anyone struggling with their mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when we release new episodes. Also, feel free to share our podcast with your friends and family. And if you'd like to get involved, explore our content, or support our work, visit our website www.yourlight.earth. That's yourlight.earth. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at u.r.light. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.